about Gilead, and the people, as you say, were great today. And it was interesting. Christy was up there, and she was telling me, gee, you know, I wonder what it'd be like to live in a small town again, right?
Well, and again, is right, because I did come from a small town in West Virginia. In fact, Mount Gilead is not unlike Spencer, West Virginia. Population's about the same, around 3,000. Gas and oil is one of the mainstays there.
The big buildings up there. This one built in 1894. Dave Stanton is up there with Skybeam at one of the big plants, the major industries. We're going to learn more about that today. David, how was your day up there today?
An interesting day, and it hasn't stopped being interesting yet, Dave. And Christy, this is really a fascinating place. This is HPM, Hydraulic Press Manufacturers, a really big company here. Look at this, they're lifting up one of these giant hydraulic presses now. They're going to take it off to be painted, a 15-ton crane. This is one of the small ones, believe it or not. Take it back to be painted there. This is a fascinating place. It started back in 1877 with a man by the name of Mr. Tucker, who was a farmer near here, wanted to invent a better apple cider press, so in the process of doing that, he invented hydraulic. Can you believe it, Dave? Hydraulics were invented right here in Morrow County, and that's how all this got started. We'll share a lot more of the story of this company with you a little bit later. We'll also take you from this factory scene to the beautiful outdoor scene of a place I know the whole family can enjoy. So come on back a little later, and we'll share some of the wonders, the diversity of this Morrow County, Mount Gilead area.
But today up in Morrow County, well, it's kind of a different type of operation they have up there.
Well, the one that Judy Yule has found is pretty special. They make beautiful furniture and more, and she's going to take us on a tour now. The pieces come into the furniture factory in desperate need of work, and these people, all of them mentally challenged, are eager to make them look good again.
Our workers here are very proud of their work. They take great pride in sanding, stripping, varnishing, recaning, and doing a quality job.
The furniture factory is one of 2 adult sheltered workshops serving the handicapped adults in Morrow County, but the fact that the workers are handicapped certainly doesn't stop the customers from pouring in.
I thought they had furniture to sell, which we were looking for. So when we came in, we discovered what it was, and they have such terrific prices that you can't do it yourself cheaper.
Now, this just isn't busy work for these people. It's a job, just like you and me. They're doing this work to make some money. That's right. Every other week, these people get a paycheck.
It's like you get paid.
You do, just like all of us, right? You like to work and get paid. Do you make friends?
Yeah. I'm paycheck too.
Okay. Now you got to wonder what goes through the minds of the shop supervisors. What's it like working with these people?
I think it's really neat. I've been here for 20 years, and I wouldn't give it up for anything.
Now we'd like to mention a little bit about the prices. They said they had such good prices. It ranges anywhere from $10 to $50, depending on what kind of furniture you want refinished. A dining room chair, a simple dining room chair that doesn't need any fancy work, would be about $25. Not a bad price.
Reasonable.
No, and they do good work.
Looks like they do.
Mm-hmm.
What about this operating levy you told us about?
Yes, they do have an operating levy coming up on the November ballot. That's next Tuesday, 2.5 mil. And the MRDD is pretty confident that the people are going to pass it, and that's because of the projects, the programs like this factory furniture shop, and they know that the good programs are going on, and they'll probably pass it. They're not real worried about it, but they want the people to know it's out there and it's on the ballot and to vote for it.
And the people were so excited that Judy dropped in today. Look what they gave her, and they finished it and framed it. And all
They were
that.
so excited. They were just so excited that we were there, just thrilled with the certificate of award. This certifies that Channel 10 Heart of Ohio series was awarded the certificate in recognition of their Whetstone Furniture Factory coverage in Morrow County, and we thank them for this. It'll go along with all our other certificates that we've gotten along the way.
On the wall. That is so nice. Thanks, Judy.
When we come back, Christy and I take a journey through downtown Mount Gilead, live in the heart of Ohio. We'll be back in just a moment. The town of Mount Gilead was settled back in the early 20s, the early 1820s. In fact, it was 1824 that Jacob Young brought his family here from Virginia to settle this area. Now, it wasn't called Mount Gilead then. After all, with a name like Young, what do you suppose they called it?
Youngstown, maybe?
Yeah,
something like that. Well, in fact, folks realized there's another Youngstown, Ohio, just north of here, and they said, we can't have 2 Youngstowns, so they voted to name it what it's known as today, Mount Gilead.
And Mount Gilead was a town back in Virginia where many of these people came to begin with. They also settled for this area because it was so beautiful.
It is so pretty here. They thought it was so beautiful that they speculated this could have been the ancient scene for the Garden of Eden, that Adam and Eve had lived right here in Mount Gilead, and there wasn't any evidence in the Bible to the contrary, they thought, so that was a theory for a long time in these parts.
They also came because there was a lot of farming and it was good land here. And believe it or not, today, agriculture is the main industry in Morrow County.
One of the oldest surviving buildings here in Mount Gilead is the Public Library. It was built in the 1850s.
It originally housed the office of Dr. Beebe, and I want you to go back up on top where you see the cupola up there, because that housed the bell tower and the bell. And when there was an emergency in town, they would ring that bell, and the doctor would come a-running, so to speak.
This is the town center here in Mount Gilead, and what you see behind us here, it looks like a mini Washington monument, is called the Victory Shaft, and there's a good reason for that name.
But back in 1918, a Vermont monument company held a contest nationwide to see which county, per capita population, could sell the most war stamps or war bonds at the time. And guess who won?
The folks in Morrow County raised the most, and so they got this monument free to put in the town center.
You know, Christy, over the past 6 months, we have traveled to so many cities here in Ohio. We've seen so much history. But here in Morrow County and Mount Gilead, they have kind of a different way of teaching that history to the locals. Now, let's drop in on Jim Miller's class out at the high school.
The Mount Gilead people believe that since the railroad is going to go from Galleon to Worthington, it would have to go through Mount Gilead. So one of the courses that I always thought about teaching was a course in local history, because I had lived around this area and I've talked to various people and heard about some of the stories. And Mount Gilead has quite a bit of history, and then too, a lot of these stories still pretty much were sticking around so that you could find them. So Edison was now the stop-off point, the depot point for the town of Mount Gilead. Down where Don's Barber Shop is, and the pizza house used to be a stockyard, again, which was part of the facilities the railroad brought track in to our livestock from Mount Gilead out to the main line.
Jim Miller's class is an elective class, a very popular one, I might add, and students from any grade in the high school can take it.
When we come back, Dave Stanton drops in on the county's largest employer. In just a moment, stay with us. A little bit earlier, I talked about the Morrow County and Mount Gilead as the major industry. There's agriculture, but there's a major employer up there that we learned about today, at least Dave Stanton did. It's the Hydraulic Press Manufacturing Company, and it really is a big employer.
In fact, Dave is there now, and we think maybe he's found a new job. Dave, be careful of those moving parts up there.
Oh, believe me, I don't have the technical skill it takes to work here. This is not your average factory up here. Look at the size of it, for one thing. It's huge. Look at it goes on forever. It's just an incredible place, and what they make here is they make machines that make things like this. This is a big hydraulic press. Must be fairly close to being taken out of here because it's all painted and everything. Make things like plastic forks, silverware, that type of thing for Rubbermaid, big client. Plastic parts for your cars. Honda's a big employer or big buyer of the machines they make here, and they build them from the ground up. 700 people work here in all the different facilities that HPM owns. Not all of them are from here. They were telling me kind of interesting story. The mayor of Martinsburg is 50 miles away from here. He drives here every day just to work. And these are highly skilled people, electricians, machinists, people like that. Let's talk to a couple of the folks that work here now. Let's start with this guy here. What's your name?
Gary Fleiter.
Gary, all right. What do you do here now?
I'm in assembly.
Okay. And how long have you been here?
A little over 3 years.
Okay. Fairly new at it, huh?
Yeah.
Good place to work?
A fantastic place to work.
Now, putting all this stuff together, how do you know how to do it?
I have a previous experience coming in, but constantly learning, as you go.
Yeah, on the job training.
Yeah.
Right, great. And are you more of a veteran? What's your name?
Mike Park.
Mike?
I've been here for 20 years.
All right, very good. What do you do here?
Electronic specialist.
Oh, all right. Well, that's definitely one of the skill jobs we were talking about. A lot of wiring in these things.
Yeah, right.
Interesting. They've got a lot of the people here are families. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it. Families go back several generations that have worked here. Now, this is an interesting place, but it's definitely a factory all the way to show you the kind of diversity we have in this county. Morrow County, Mount Gilead is another place. We're on the west side, out on the east side of town. Take a look at the beauty there. The the Mount Gilead State Park. 172 acres of trails, picnic and camping areas, 2 lakes, and more. It's Mount Gilead's little Garden of Eden. The leaves that have fallen from the trees cover the park with a carpet of patchwork colors. And even without their leaves, the trees form a dense wall of pine, birch, walnut, buckeye, and many other varieties. Park manager John White says they're very proud here of the 3 miles of trails that cover most of the park. Almost everyone hikes part of them while they're here. This trail, the mile-long Sands Creek Nature Trail, is the most popular. Woodchucks, minks, muskrat, woodpeckers, chickadees, even yellow-shafted flickers. Just a few of the many varieties of wildlife that you're bound to see if you come through here. Of course, to best see them, you should come in the early morning or the evening hours. My gosh, I think I even see a snipe.
This is a good area to go bird watching because it's an old part of the woods, and man hasn't ever been back here too much to bother, and consequently we have a lot of deer and stuff come up here in the wintertime.
The park is open year-round. In fact, sledding and ice skating are very popular here in the winter. Now this shows you the size of some of the machines. We're back at HPM. This is a big one. Some of them get up to 3,000 tons. And here's one looks like it's about ready to go out. And these things can cost up to $1 million, Dave and Christy. So this is quite a plant, quite a lot of beauty in this area. I tell you, there's a lot of stuff up here in Morrill County.
And it's a big place considering he was just looking to find an apple cider press. Oh, look what he did.
Isn't that something?
Start small and end up big. You got it. Thanks, David.
Sure.
You know, you can't talk about Mount Gilead in Morrill County because you think about the oil boom that they had back in the 60s, but we learned today that oil is still a business up there.
They do have several functional oil wells still around in the county, and folks are still making a living doing just that.
We'll be back in just a moment. 5:30 edition of Eyewitness News. Don't go away. Thanks a lot, kids, at the elementary school in Mount Gilead. That's great. That's great.
That was very nice. Thank you. And by the way, do you know why I have the little pumpkin here?
Is that a pumpkin?
Well, it is. And I found out, looking it up in the dictionary, that a pumpkin is considered a gourd along with squash and other nice
And a
things
vegetable.
to eat. And a vegetable. But the big thing about this is that Mount Gilead has the world's largest gourd show. It's over now. It was October 3rd at the fairgrounds. But something that you might not know about a place just up the road here from Columbus.
Also yesterday, believe it or not, do you think the people are still playing marbles in this country the old-fashioned way in the dirt, you know, and you flip it? You ever play marbles like that?
Oh, yeah.
Well, they did that up at Mount Gilead, and they had a championship yesterday, and it was William Grandpa Taw that won the championship yesterday.
William Leroy.
And they went to the exhaust shop to play that, right? Right? Love that.
Probably a good place to play marbles. Who knows?
In a small town like Mount Gilead, you find lots of local restaurants, but you know, something that has passed Mount Gilead by is the fast food chains. But they are just about to get one, and believe it or not, the Dispatch's Grumpy Gourmet dropped into Mount Gilead today to check out what the future of the fast food business is going to be there.
This is a Grumpy Gourmet. Today I'm taking you on a tour of a very important part of our fast food world. The heart of Ohio has long been familiar with the terms we'll be using today. Big Mac, Golden Arches, Egg McMuffin. In Germany, France, even in Korea, you can get a Big Mac. In 10,000 cities and hamlets in this world, you can get a Big Mac, but not in Mount Gilead, Ohio. Well, Mount Gilead, your time has come. Your population of 3,000 souls is about to increase. Ronald McDonald is coming to town. That's right. Last week, ground was broken for the first McDonald's in Mount Gilead. So we've come to the heart of Ohio, Mount Gilead, to teach these children a new language. I want to hear all of you say Golden Arches. Great. Golden Arches is something like a nightlight for your generation. Now, can you say Happy Meal? Happy Meal! Now for the important part. This is a cow. In the olden days, we had enough beef to make 60 billion Big Macs. But all that was just for practice. Mount Gilead, we're going to do something for you. Children, it's time to graduate. I want you to take a bite. Your lifestyle is changing. Bon appetit, Mount Gilead. Would you like fries with that?
Just a great piece there, Greg. Anyway, the fast food business is coming to Mount Gilead, and you saw that right there. Ronald out there with the old shovel and getting it all ready to go.
You know, that is a big deal for a small town.
Absolutely.
We used to wait around. We heard all the rumors, Burger King's coming, McDonald's is coming, and really, if you don't have something like that, it is a big deal.
You know, when I was growing up in my small town, we didn't have anything like that. Now they got, they got Pizza Hut, and they also have a McDonald's, and I think they're talking about a Wendy's coming to the town. So,
wow.
you know,
Progress.
Progress. Of course, the local people there wouldn't think so. If you went to the local restaurant, you wouldn't think that's progress, right?
That's right, and nothing can replace home cooking, that's for sure.
Back in just a moment. Stay with us. Tomorrow we're at the Rehabilitation Center here in the city, but before we leave you, Dave Stanton really got involved in his work up there today, didn't he, up at the state park?
Well, you know how some people throw themselves into their work. Well, something kind of like that happened. Dave sort of left a part of himself there at Mount Gilead and
Take a look at
rolled the
this.
tape.
After too much to bother.
There it goes.
Poor guy.
It's a beat. Let it beat.
Every reporter's nightmare.
He said it was kind of muddy there at the bottom of the steps. Here we go. Slow motion. Replay. Check it out. Whoa, David. Watch.
It's always fun to laugh at someone else's expense, of course.
See, we didn't have to worry about that because we were on the sidewalks and the streets.
That's right. Can we get a reverse angle on that? Just to see it again. Well,
Thanks a
okay.
lot for being with us tonight on the 5:30 edition of Eyewitness News. Coming your way next, the 6 o'clock edition with Lou Forrest and Teresa Lou Kennis. And, Lou, I know that's happened to you and me before, right? We just never...